option to turn on your video. So if you want me to be able to see you tonight, which I'd love to see you, you can turn that on at this time. If you have not already done so, there's also a bottom on the left-hand corner to mute yourself. I actually do want you to mute yourself for now. Hey, I want you to mute yourself so that if there's background noise, if you've got kids or pets or just anything going on in the background, we don't necessarily hear it. However, I do want you guys to unmute yourself as like the call's going if you have a question or if you want to interject at all. So welcome to the call. As you guys know, during this challenge group, we're doing these calls on Thursdays at 9:05. I usually like to keep them 30 minutes or less, and the topics are typically based off of whatever I feel like you guys need the most. And so for this call tonight, I wanted to focus on fitness tips for beginners because that's where a lot of you are. Some of you are in the Family Fitness Challenge. Some of you are in my nutritional makeover group. So some of you haven't actually started exercising yet. You're just maybe doing like the 2B mindset approach, or you're just getting your feet wet with this. So the tips that I share tonight, I hope are helpful, and I hope that they're kind of exciting for you to want to get started with the fitness part. So what I'm about to do now is a screen share. So I'm going to share with you guys my desktop. Can you see it okay? Awesome, good. So what I'm going to do now is put it in present mode. When I put this in present mode, I actually can't see you guys. And so if you need to talk, just unmute yourself, but I won't see your chat questions until we come back to it. So if you do have questions and you want to talk now, unmute yourself and ask them. If not, you can leave it in the chat and we can kind of cover it at the end. Sound good? Awesome. I'm going to put this into present mode now, so it'll get a little bit bigger. I hope that's helpful. I'm assuming you can see this okay. If not, stop me. But anyways, so the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to tips for beginners is finding that soulmate fitness program. Here's the deal. Beachbody, your on-demand library, which a lot of you, that's what you have the on-demand library, has a lot of choices. I want to tell you something really cool. Just a side note, this isn't about this, but when I started 4.5 years ago, every time you wanted to do a program, you had to buy it. So I have all of the DVDs, like I have the 21 Day Fix DVD, I have P90X3, like I have all of them. And it was a huge investment. Now you guys, those of you who have on demand, you paid for all the programs, like your cost for all the programs was what I used to pay for one, which is pretty crazy. So I want you to realize how exciting on-demand is and how much of a value, from a value standpoint, what you're getting. So I love that you have access to so many programs. However, just like with my son, when I give him too many choices, he's overwhelmed and he can't pick. But when I give him a couple choices, he does better. And so that's why for those of you who are just getting started, while yes, the on-demand library is awesome because you have every single Beachbody workout program at your fingertips, it's also a distraction for those of you who are new to this. And it's a little bit overwhelming because you're like, hey, they all sound great. Maybe you've heard people doing certain programs and you're like, oh, so-and-so did that one. Maybe I should do that one. You need to actually reach out to your coach. If this is all new to you, I want you to have a serious conversation with your coach. For some of you, that's me. I want you to tell me, like, what do you love? What is your favorite type of exercise? What is your, like, if you had to work out, because some of you don't even like working out, which is okay. What do you prefer? What's fun to you? I will tell you something about me. I hate dancing. I have zero rhythm. I have no fun on the dance floor. So for me, when I have to do programs like Country Heat or Size, I actually hate it because I'm so uncoordinated and I just find myself more frustrated than anything. So for me, those are not my soulmate fitness programs. But I had to learn that. And so for those of you who are just getting started, I want you to know that it's okay if you don't like one of them. You may do a couple and you may say, this is not my thing. That's okay. Like, it's okay to not love all of them. I will tell you, even as a fitness coach, I don't love all types of exercise. I had to find what I love, but I needed to ask for help I had to tell my own coach when I was starting, I had to tell her what my goals were, what my time frame was. So for some of you, you don't have, maybe you have 20 minutes or maybe you have a half an hour. Some of you have an hour. Some of you are at different levels of your fitness too. So all these things matter. So I want you to share this with your coach, which as I said is probably me. And I want you to also share your goals. So is it to tone muscle? Is it weight loss? Is it a certain area of your body? Because even sharing those things with me will help me to tell you which program is best for you. I am really, really proud of something. So as I've told you guys, I've been coaching now for 4.5 years. What I can tell you is that I have done every single Beachbody program that has come out in the last 4.5 years. I have done every single one of them because that's my job. So I can actually give you feedback on a lot of programs and I can give you advice. What I will have you guys do in the beginning is I will have you test drive some. So for those of you who are just starting, when you do like your preseason or your prep week, I will have you do, maybe 2 21-day fix workouts, 2 shift shop workouts, 2 country heat workouts or whatever. And I also want you to be really realistic with me and yourself of where you are. If you come in and you have no prior experience with exercise, maybe you haven't worked out in years. That's how I was. When I started with my coach, I hadn't exercised in probably a good 3 years. And I was not in a place where I could handle an intense workout. What I've seen happen is sometimes people will come in and they're like, oh, I see everyone talking about 80-Day Obsession. That was like our really popular fitness program that launched in January. And they're like, I want to do 80-day. And I'm like, oh, are you sure you're ready for it? Because it's intense and it's a big commitment. I mean, most of the 80-day workouts are an hour a day, which is a really big deal. So they would try to do it and then they would fall off the wagon. And what happened was instead of, them getting back on or trying again, it actually caused them to like not want to do it at all because they felt like they were a failure. So I don't want you to feel that way. I just need you to upfront be really realistic with yourself about what are your goals, where are you right now, and how much time do you have to devote to the program each week. So is it 7 days a week? Is it 5? Is it 4? Is it 30 minutes? Is it 60 minutes? And we'll go from there. Now, here's another thing that I find is super important. I really need you to trust the trainers. I need you to trust the program. So if you tell me you're going to do shift shop, I need you to do shift shop. I don't want you playing and picking different workouts constantly because what's going to happen is you're not going to have the motivation and the stamina to do a full program then, and you're not going to get the results that you want. I also want you to take the meal plan that goes along with your program very seriously. Whether it's the containers, the tubing mindset, if you're doing 80-day, it's the time nutrition approach, whatever the nutrition program is with your program, I want you to try to stick to it. I don't want you doing, I'm just saying Weight Watchers because it came to mind. I don't want you doing another weight loss program. I don't want you trying to use other weight loss supplements. I don't want you trying to do your own thing. I really need you to trust the process and trust the trainers. Now, some of you are going to have doctors who, will say, oh no, you can't do that piece. You got to listen to your doctor. You got to follow them. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm a motivation. I'm a lifestyle coach. So I can help you with this. I've done this myself. But when it comes to your actual care, you got to go with the doctor first. So if that means that you can't do time nutrition, then you can't do it. But anyways, I just really want you to decide and make a commitment to yourself because you owe it to yourself. That you're going to stick to the plan and you're going to stick to the calendar. Sometimes I'll have clients where they say, okay, I'm just going to do, so for example, actually I have the lift calendar. I'm getting ready to do lift. It's going to start lift 4. It's going to start on the 16th. I'm so excited about it. But I just signed myself up for 8 weeks of fitness, 4 days a week, which is awesome, 35 minutes a day. There's like sets, like here's chest and tries, back and bicep, recovery day, shoulders, legs. This is here for a reason. This doesn't mean that on Monday I wake up and say, you know what, I want to do legs today. Forget chest and triceps. No, I have to stick to the program. They created this. They did their homework, not me. So when you look at your calendar, which all of you can print off the calendar from your programs in your Beachbody On Demand library. It's under additional resources. You can print the calendar. I want you to stick to it. I also want you to believe in your own transformation. I want you to say that those those transformation stories or those pictures that we're sharing, those people, you need to tell yourself, those people are no different than me. I deserve my own transformation story as much as they did, and I have the power to create that transformation story. I can help you. I can motivate you, but I cannot do this work for you. This has to be an internal thing where you say to yourself, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get the results. Now, one thing that I find is working really well for my clients is having them share it on Instagram. Now, Instagram stories is like the best place for accountability. And I will tell you that personally for me, I show up on Instagram stories. Those of you who don't know this, I'm actually on Instagram right now. I'm on Instagram Live and my followers are watching this call. So that's why I was talking beforehand whenever you guys were jumping on. But I find that sharing my journey on stories helps me because I know that there's somebody out there who's watching and who needs the motivation, and maybe, just maybe, I can be the light for them and I can get them excited to start their own story. I need you to realize that in this moment, I know that some of you are not feeling like, I'm not, you're thinking to yourself, no one's going to follow me for motivation. That's not necessarily the case. People love a good transformation story, and you owe it to yourself to document the journey because it's really incredible to show up and, have your transformation story, right? Like that's fun. That's what everybody wants. We want to like blink and you be like, here's Sarah's transformation story. She lost 47 pounds over the last year. But if I didn't show up and show what it looked like to lose 47 pounds over the last year, I don't have as much credibility, but it's also not as inspiring. People want to see the hard stuff. So I want you to share your story if you can on stories. Share your workouts, share what you're eating, share your Shakeology, share all of it so that if somebody is following along, they might say to you, what are you doing? And maybe they'll join you. I know that you guys are just clients, you're not coaches yourself, but you may have someone in your life who needs the same transformation that you're about to embark on. Now, here's the deal. This is so big. Okay, this is huge. Your workouts have got to become a non-negotiable on your calendar. This is an appointment, just like a dentist appointment, just like, okay, so I used to be, my last year in education, I was the dean of students. So I had a calendar, and I actually had a secretary, and she would put meetings on my calendar. She'd put parent meetings, she'd put IEP meetings, all different kinds of meetings on my calendar. And when I would log into my computer in the morning, I would see what my day looked like. And there was no getting out of those meetings. They were on the calendar, they were scheduled. I had to be there even if I didn't feel like it, or even if, something came up or I had a stomach ache or whatever, I had to be there. It was a priority. And so I need you to get out your planners and I need you to say, this is a priority. I deserve to be a priority. When are these workouts going to happen? And I need you to schedule them. Maybe it's before you go to work. Maybe it's over your lunch hour. Maybe it's before dinner. Maybe it's bedtime. I cannot tell you what will work for you, but you have to figure that out yourself and you have to stick to it. For me, I love morning workouts. I am a 5 a.m.er. If I could go and sweat at 5 a.m., I am like one happy girl. But I will tell you that my life right now, the season of life that I'm in, I can't be a 5 a.m. girl. I want to be a 5 a.m. girl, but I can't because what's happening is I work from home. And so that means that I have to watch my kids all day long until about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And then I do my workouts while she's napping because I work at night. So for me, I put my days in from 9 p.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning. So if I'm going to bed at 1 a.m., I don't want to be a 5 a.m.er and work out. I want to get up when the kids get up, and then I'll do the workout on nap time. So for me, for the season of life, it's what works. I don't love being a nap time hustle girl, but it's what works. So I need you to figure that out for you. I also need to explain to your family why you need this time. Because if you're just getting started with this and this is new, some of them are going to say, why do you need to go to the basement and work out for 30 minutes? Or what are you doing down there? I really need you to explain to them why you're on this journey, why you need to do this. I would encourage you to ask them to join you if they want. Now, going to the gym is awesome. You know why? Because all the stuff from home disappears. The laundry doesn't come to the gym. The dishes don't come to the gym. Your children often don't come to the gym. But for those of you who've made this commitment to home workouts, who've said, my season of life, need to work out from home, whatever your season looks like. So, you guys are here for different reasons, but you chose this, right? I didn't make you do this. You chose to commit to home workouts. And so that means that you have to figure out how to make this work. But realize that the stuff won't go away. So I need you to pick a place in your home where the stuff does go away. So maybe it's the basement, maybe it's a playroom, maybe it's a spot in your bedroom. You have to get creative, and I realize that some of you have small spaces that you're working with, but I need you to clear a space where you say, this is my intentional workout space. For some of you, you are going to take advantage of these summer months and you'll be working out outside, which is awesome. I love that you get to do that. Please know that unfortunately, it comes with the territory, but when you work out from home, your kids will sometimes join you, your pets, your spouse, there will be interruptions, the doorbell will ring. There's all kinds of things that will get in your way. You need to be intentional about this time, and you need to say, like, this is my time. And realize that the interruptions may happen, but you still owe it to yourself to get as far as you can in the workouts and give it your best. I say as far as you can because there are days, I'm going to be honest with you, there are days when Grace gets up from her nap early and I don't get the full 40 minutes in or the full hour in, and I used to get mad at that, like at myself, like, like you couldn't even get through your whole workout. But then I soon learned that something is better than nothing, and so I want you to go into it with that mindset. For those of you who are maybe at the, you have a lot of weight to lose right now, and exercise is not something that you're feeling comfortable about, I would suggest not having an audience, meaning that your husband isn't watching you or your kids aren't watching you or whatever. I would say that let this be your space where you just start to feel comfortable. Some of you haven't worked out in 10 years. So the last thing you want is your husband sitting on the couch while he's watching TV saying, baby, did that move wrong? No, like that's not going to encourage you. So if that's where you are, or maybe you're just shy about all of it, then do it without an audience. If you're like, no, like I've got these moves down from Country Heat, you got to watch this, then ask them to watch you or to join you. I will tell you that my kids, they act interested, particularly Carter. He'll be interested and he'll want to join me for about 10 minutes, and then it loses all luster to him and he wants to play with his toys. So if you have children, bring along snacks for them while you're down there. Bring lots of toys. Know that they may be interested for a couple minutes, but they're probably not going to stick with you the whole time. Carter has little like weights from Amazon that we got. They're like foam weights, little things like that to make them feel included. And as I already told you, in your space, I want you to have your calendar. So print it off and put it up somewhere so that you can check off each day when you complete it. I also want you to decorate your space with words of affirmation. So what does that mean? These are words that are going to speak like life into your spirit. They're going to make you feel empowered and motivated. I would suggest spending a little bit of time on Pinterest to just kind of get some ideas of what do you need right now? What do you need as your reminder? I have 2 words of affirmation that I actually keep here in my office. And whenever I was going back to working out, so this year I was really like deep in my 80-day obsession journey. You guys, some of you probably watched it in January. I started it in January. I got about 42 days in, and then I learned I was pregnant. And so my endocrinologist, because I have Hashimoto's, it's a thyroid condition, she was like, you cannot do this program right now, like not for where you are and your past history of miscarriage. So they put the brakes on me doing 80-day obsession. And so I was doing like yoga and stuff that really wasn't my jam. But when we lost the baby, I had to restart my fitness journey. And so I had to go back down to that space. And, I was at that point, I was a little bit out of shape and I was feeling just down and I was having a hard time. And so I actually took my 2 words of affirmation down to the basement with me for a little bit, and I put it down there. So for me, these are actually things that I use for my business. These are my words of affirmation, but I also found it really fitting for my journey. So this one, it just says life rewards action. And I believe in that 100%. If you want to create a transformation story, you want to create a successful life, a successful marriage, whatever you want, you can do it, but you have to take massive action. You have to draw the line in the sand and say, I am choosing this path and I'm going to show up until my work pays off. And so I find that every time I go at it with that determination, it happens, and it does. Like when I put my head down and like really focus on my nutrition or my fitness or, my marriage or anything, like when I'm in the game, I feel it. So I would, that's one of mine. The other one is don't quit before your miracle happens. That's my other word of affirmation that's in my office. I believe that, like, you can't quit. If something was placed in your heart, whether it be a business, whether it be your weight loss transformation, whether it be anything, if it was put in your heart, I believe it was put there for a reason. You can't quit on yourself. You can't do this for 2 weeks and say, it's not for me. No, like, our paths, I believe, have crossed for a reason. I believe that I'm your coach for a reason, and I want to take you to the finish line of whatever your goals are, but you got to show up for that. I want you guys to get in the habit of rewarding action. So if you have a success, whether it be, say maybe you have a 2-pound weight loss, maybe you lost 2 pounds this week, or maybe it's 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever it is. I want you to reward yourself when you hit those goals. And I want you to make baby goals rather than just, I want to lose 60 pounds. Because 60 pounds is a lot of weight to lose, and that takes time. And if you don't reward yourself along the way, it's not gonna be as fun. So set some little goals, and then I want you to set some non-food related victory gifts. So maybe it's new workout clothes, maybe it's new regular clothes. That's always fun, because what's gonna happen for some of you is your wardrobe's gonna change, and you're gonna have to go shopping. So every time you hit a goal, maybe you need to look into making that, maybe new tennis shoes, maybe new outfit, whatever. I've also seen clients save money per pound. So they said that for every 2 pounds that they lost, or every pound that they lost, they saved $5. And then when they hit their big goal, they had a nice big pot of money that they used to buy a new wardrobe. I saw a couple of my clients do that, and they had some serious fun because some of them lost like 80 pounds. So it was a lot of money, and they actually kept it in a jar so that they could visually see that. So I need you to decide what works for you, and then I need you to reward that action. And then I need you to keep going. I need you to realize that these results are going to take time. Your journey is going to take time. There is going to be days where all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, or this was harder than I thought it would be. But I just need you to have the mindset that you can do this. I 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that you can do this. I really do. Like, I'm totally rooting for you. I'm in your corner, but you have to do the work and you have to commit to this. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight for some of my tips. I hope they were helpful. Is that good for you guys? I'm like really type A. Look at the time. It's 9:29. So when I do calls, I'm like, they start at 9:05. Like, I am like very precise. So it's funny that we're just getting ready to wrap up here. If you have any more questions, or if you want advice, I know in the beginning I shared that you needed to talk to your coach about like what your goals were and helping you pick a program. I'm happy to do that. You just have to reach out. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for joining. Hope you have a good night. I'll see you soon. Bye. See y'all.